Welcome to Aizu Wakamatsu, a beautiful city in central Japan rich in samurai heritage, but not populated heavily with the tourists.
Located a little more than 3 hours from central Tokyo, Aizu sits on a wide plain nestled against the mountains. It's a castle town known for its samurai history. We'll visit a one-of-a-kind tower shrine, a sprawling samurai residence, and stay a couple of nights in a private home with its owner where we participate in making a feast of a breakfast. Our first stop is the samurai home of Kuno Sasaki. The area is well known for its samurai history and being the site of a fierce battle around the castle in 1868. The house and gardens are very large and provide you a glimpse into life during the Edo period. After walking through an entry garden along one of the whitewashed buildings, we come to some of the perfunctory spaces of the complex. When you enter the proper portions of the house, you'll be seeing the waiting rooms and various spaces used by the house entourage. The samurai were well-paid, highly trained warriors that protected the local lord or daimyo. There are numerous rooms with sliding shoji screens opening up to the inner garden, allowing the flow of air in and out. The craftsmanship and detail are amazing to see. You will find displays of what the original occupants would have looked like and worn, and you'll see the meeting hall where the master of the house would entertain those who came to pay their respect. Out back through a lush garden walk is a ceremonial tea house, something every accomplished samurai must have. The life of Saigo was not without tragedy. The women of Saigo's family killed themselves during the battle for Aizu, fearing that their capture would bring shame to their master, and that is depicted here.
This is an extensive outdoor-indoor museum. Reconstructions of old homes and buildings spread out over several acres, so you could spend a good hour or two here at least.
And like any good tourist spot, you must exit through the gift shop. I must say this gift shop is one of the more well-presented and stocked gift shops I've seen. Sao There are handbags, locally made crafts, sweets, and you can even find Godzilla-inspired wine. Our next stop is the famous and unique Sao Temple. Tucked away up a narrow alley, it sits on Limori Hill overlooking the city. The walk leads you through a beautiful lower garden with two small shrines and a fast-flowing stream that comes right out of the mountain. It's an exceptionally peaceful spot in the middle of the city where you can relax in the cool shade of the towering trees. This stream and pool of water hold a very special place in Japanese history. Toward the end of the Edo period in 1868, the Battle of Aizu took place, and 20 sons of local samurai formed the White Tiger Brigade as backups for the battle. These young men escaped entrapment by swimming through this irrigation tunnel, and from their view of the castle below, thinking it had fallen, they did what at any time was the only honorable thing to do, so they committed suicide. Sao Temple is unusual in that it has two sets of stairs on the interior. They form a double helix with both sets meeting at the top of the tower, forming a small archway before descending the other side. We've never seen a temple tower quite like it. It is truly impressive. For a commanding view of the town, you can walk up to an overlook above with a sweeping view. Then come back down to the 1/3 Cafe where you can enjoy light drinks and the relaxing atmosphere in air-conditioned comfort. But as good as the view is from here, I found the most enjoyable aspect to be the delicious berry-flavored shaved ice. Absolutely nothing more refreshing than this on a hot day. From Sao Temple, we venture over to Suruga Castle. You would think its name would be Aizu Castle, but it's not, it's Suruga. The approach to the castle follows alongside the wide moat before entering the castle area itself. Like most castles in Japan, this is a reproduction, but impressive nonetheless. The grounds are lovely with plenty to see, and here's a bit of advice. There are many public outdoor spaces that you can enjoy early in the morning that are open. They're open 24 hours a day. Other great advantage is they're not crowded at that time. For example, we are out here at Suruga Castle. And as you can see, there are very few people, only a few walking early in the morning. No matter when you come to the castle, it's a great time to visit, as the town of Aizu simply isn't on many tourist itineraries and thus not typically crowded, making it all the more enjoyable. On our second day in Aizu, we took the beautiful drive to nearby Lake Inawashiro. We wanted to check out 2 points of interest, and along the way we discovered another hidden gem.
Now, as you explore Japan, you're going to discover the Japanese love their museums. And I've got to tell you, just about anywhere you go throughout the country, small towns, big towns, you're bound to find a museum or two. We are in Iwana Shiro at the Hideo Noguchi Memorial Museum. There's not a traffic light in this town, but this is a world-class museum.
Hideo Noguchi is one of the most famous citizens in all of Japan. In fact, he is so famous that his image adorns the 1,000 yen note. Noguchi grew up here and became one of the most preeminent bacteriologists in the world, having been nominated several times for the Nobel Prize. His work centered on that of yellow fever and syphilis, and in the museum you'll see the record of his amazing life and research into bacteriology. Throughout the world, one can find statues in his honor, and inside one gallery of the museum is an animatronic statue of Noguchi, which speaks to onlookers as he explains his work. The museum is small but absolutely first class. It includes a reproduction of his early childhood home, which you can explore before stepping across the way into the modernist museum.
Now, after you've visited the Hideo Noguchi Memorial Museum, you can step next door to the Infectious Disease Museum. I tell you, throughout Japan, you'll find remarkably impressive museums, even in the smallest of towns, such as this one.
The Museum of Infectious Diseases is a separate museum that is included in the ticket price. This small museum introduces you to the study of various bacteria that causes harm throughout the world. The entire museum complex is very impressive and something you would not expect to find in such a small rural town. Then just across the road from the museum is another museum of sorts, though it is truly a retail outlet. It's the World Glassware Hall. This was a pleasant surprise for us. Upon entering, you are immediately taken by the impressive displays of cut crystal under glass and illuminated. This facility is one man's dream of introducing the world to blown and cut glass. The space is enormous, covering 2 levels, and just about everything you can imagine has been preserved or put into glass. Upstairs is a large-scale model of the city of Venice, Italy. The detail of this diorama is amazing. One could spend quite a bit of time just studying this historically accurate display. Makes you want to hop on a plane and head to Italy. But just around the corner is a hands-on crafts area where you can try your hand at glass etching. To enjoy more videos like this, click the like and subscribe buttons now. It's free, it's quick, and you won't be put on any mailing list. Afterwards, we drove a mile down the road to a surprisingly enjoyable cafe.
Well, after visiting the bacteriological museum and so forth, you'd be surprised at what you would find in this building behind me.
From the outside, it looked like an old auto garage, but stepping inside, you discover a very high-end cafe. Cafe Nina 217 was an amazing little place. Their specialty is coffee and sweets set inside a light-filled interior with Spartan furnishings. Sitting here, you could imagine yourself to be in some trendy cafe in New York or Tokyo. I indulged in a ginger ale with a lavender cheesecake that melted in my mouth, while Josephine enjoyed coffee and a flourless chocolate torte. It was a quiet respite and wonderful place to conclude the day before returning to our homestay in Aizu. On our way back to Aizu, we just had to pull off the road to capture some shots of a typical Japanese attraction.
Now, throughout Japan, there are all kinds of beautiful lakes. This one is Lake Iwanashiro. It's a big, huge lake, but like you might see in other places, some strange sea creatures or lake creatures on the water.
For our stay in Aizu Wakamatsu, we rented a room from Kuno Sasaki. We learned she is an accomplished paper artist and spoke very good English. Her house was very comfortable and convenient, and Kuniko prepared a feast for breakfast every morning. On our second morning, she was busy in the kitchen making vegetable tempura, which is comprised of fresh vegetables dipped in a rich batter. Quickly fried to a golden brown, the crunch of the fried batter and soft vegetables is a delight. In addition, she had us participate in making a large sushi roll and one of Josephine's favorites, inari sushi. Inari sushi is simply rice inserted into a seasoned and marinated tofu pouch. Kuniko took us through the process of preparing the rice with vinegar, spreading it on the nori or seaweed sheets, then adding various seasonings and laying on the vegetables and crab before rolling it tightly for cutting. It was a delicious feast to start the day. Enjoying a meal around the table in one's home is an experience we wish all visitors to Japan could have. We thoroughly enjoyed getting to know Kuniko, and you can reach out to her via the website link in the description below this video. Be sure to watch our other videos on places such as Kanazawa, Edo Wonderland, Tokyo, and the Shirone Kite Museum. And send us an email with your questions or ideas. And until next time, sayonara.